Hello, I'm Dr. Dick Martin, and welcome to this presentation on Ego-Spiritualism. During the next few minutes, I'm going to be talking about what Ego-Spiritualism is, what it looks like when we are experiencing it within our lives, and how we may be able to enter into it if we are not already there. Several years ago, I, along with my wife, Reverend Linda Martin, began to search for a word that captured the essence of a consciousness in which we are living the best of our humanity in synergy with our divinity. A word that reflected the profound energies at work within the core of our being, ego and spirit. A word that reflects entry into the great life that is available to all of us. Ego-spiritualism is the word that puts both of these energies on equal footing. It recognizes that transformation into the best version of ourselves requires both a human awakening and a spiritual awakening, not just the latter. Now, this is significantly different from traditional messages over the past 3,000 years, which have only stressed spiritual awakening. We believe that these messages are outdated and haven't promoted the evolution on a personal and worldwide nature that can lead to world peace. We still remain in the same place as when the brilliant words on consciousness were spoken by Buddha, Jesus, and Muhammad. We remain very much asleep, egoically. Now, what does ego-spiritualism look like as we are living it? We are at peace with ourselves, with the people in our life, and with the world at large. We are motivated by love rather than guilt or fear or anger as we undertake our life's work. We fully respect our body, mind, and spirit with the choices we make of what we put into them. We are free of faulty expectations of ourselves, from others, and of others. We are free of faulty wants and can recognize genuine needs, a distinction which allows us to know the difference between pseudo-happiness, which is primarily pleasure-based happiness meant to meet physical needs alone, and genuine happiness, which is unable to be purchased because it's priceless. We are able to fully embrace our potential within the service we are here to provide to others as well as ourselves. We are able to like and love ourselves as we are, even as we work to heal any of the imperfections and weaknesses that lie within. We are able to feel emotionally connected to others rather than emotionally over-attached or detached. And finally, we are able to live in the present rather than being chained to the past or being overly preoccupied with the future. Ego-spiritualism also recognizes the idea that God is love. A love which is connective, unlimited, unconditional, and unburdened. This is a love which is within each of us. We know that God is life, and that life is present in all beings, and their existence could not be without the presence of God within. We understand that God is energy, and energy of truth and light, which can lead to our transformation to better versions of ourself. Ego-spiritualism also recognizes 4 great gifts that everyone who has ever lived has been given. We have been given the gift of life and the opportunity to experience the abundance that comes with life. We have been given the gift of creating life so that we may be able to create the life in which we are living. We are able to receive the gift of eternal life, meaning that we have as much time, as many opportunities as we need to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And we also have the gift of God within, that every step of our journey along our path is accompanied by God's presence as we make our way to the kingdom of heaven. The last thing I want to talk about is how do we enter into ego-spiritualism? As I said earlier, some are already there. If your life contains what I've just described, and your ego energy is in balance, you're already there. And you probably know that. Now, for some others, the path is different, and it's longer. And it requires healing involving the use of ego medicine for our ego energy. This healing, ego medicine, involves 3 major contributors that are of equal importance. The first of them is to understand what ego is and what ego is not. There have been many thoughts and words expressed about ego. Some of them are correct, and unfortunately, some of them are incorrect. The less we truly understand what ego is, the more difficult it is to heal it within ourselves. Ego is first and foremost an energy, and an energy that is its purpose is to promote our survival, both daily and mortal. It is this energy that works through the workshop of our mind, our ego mind for some, we refer to it as ego space, that gives shape to the thoughts, beliefs, values, attitudes, prejudices, and even illusions that we carry. It is from our ego mind, built upon the energy of our ego energy, that we form an ego self. It is this ego self which manifests in behavior, feelings, thoughts, and even physiology that we present to the world. When we are living a better version of ourselves, these are much healthier. When we are living a weaker version of ourselves, they are much less healthy and often rooted in the imbalanced ego energy involving power, flexibility, or vulnerability. Now, there are some inaccurate thoughts regarding ego that I want to mention briefly. Some have suggested that ego can only be a dark and negative entity within your life. We do agree that it can bring us into suffering, and often does, in its effort to help us survive. But this energy can be transformed through healing to be a light and positive energy that works with us and not against us. Some have also suggested that ego acts as though it has an intellect, that it has an intentionality, and in some respects is out to have a negative effect upon our lives. Ego is an energy. It does not have an intellect or an intentional quality. Ego has no awareness of itself. It has no awareness of you. and it has no awareness of God. It does not attempt to undermine your life purposefully. It does not attempt to oppose God. It is not out to edge God out. As I said, it doesn't know who God is. But we can heal the energy with the understanding we have of it. The second contributor to ego medicine is being able to tune into your specific ego energy where needed, if it is imbalanced in its power, flexibility, or vulnerability. Our work helps you to do that within our first book, Ego Therapy. Each of us has to walk a different path, and we must make different alterations or changes in the healing process. So talking about healing as if it were a one-size-fits-all entity or approach just doesn't work. And we understand that. The third contributor to ego medicine is the use of ego-related, reality-based thinking, in which we replace the faulty or inaccurate thoughts developed from our ego energy to rational, logical, accurate thoughts that increase the quality of our ego space. And when we enhance the quality, the effect is the development of a healthier person whose feelings and behaviors and thoughts and physiology are healthier. It is within the brilliance of human and divine truth that the door will fully open and you will transform into the person that you were meant to be and has always awaited you.